So about last night. Hey guys, it's me, Aisha, and I did not plan on doing a voiceover for this, hence why I'm talking in the video, but I did not realize that the mini fridge I bought is actually quite loud, especially in my camera. It kind of sounded like water or a fan, I don't know, and I thought it was something wrong with my camera until I realized it's the mini fridge I bought for my serums and whatnot. It's super cute, but it's loud and it runs all the time. So next time I just have to remember to turn it off before I film. But yeah, I didn't realize the camera would pick it up like that. So, oops. But anyway, in this video, I'm going to show you this new wig I got. Also, this insanely hot ass dress I got. And the stole I made, all for my company party I went to. This is like my first ever company party for like a serious adult ass job, so that was pretty cool. And honestly, it looked pretty much exactly what I pictured, just given the theme, and it was really cool. It was actually a lot of fun. I'm going to show you some clips from that and everything we did. It actually was a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm going to show you that. It was all one night basically, and Chris and I hung out the next day downtown afterwards. It was downtown Savannah. Stayed at the Marriott on the river, and yeah. So anyway, we're gonna get into it. Here is the wig I got. I purchased it from Amazon. It's a 20-inch 13x4 lace front wig. Supposed to be grade A, 150% density, Brazilian virgin hair. So yeah, this is the wig. It was actually pretty cool. I really like the hair. The hair on it is really good. So yeah, but here's Ari real quick.
What do you call the most valuable fish? A goldfish. Why did the banana go to the doctor? Because he wasn't peeling well. What did the banana say to get out of class? I'm feeling a bit split. What do you call a wig with no hair? A bald cap.
So yeah, I had to go get something really quick, and Ari wanted to display some of her comedy. Check out her channel. It is at Ari's Unicorn Club. If you have little kids or something and they like watching other kids on YouTube, why not? So with this hair, it, like I said, it's supposed to be 150% density. It felt kind of thin, and like it also was a 13x4, but on the sides it like didn't go back far enough. And if you know, you know, I prefer side parts. But I think next time I wear this, I'm gonna do a middle part, because it did not go far back. It didn't go far back enough for me as a side part. So yeah, I wish it was like a 13x6 or something, but whatever. The hair was really good. It barely shed, and it was really good. It has 4 clips all the way around. One in the front, one in the back, one on each side. But the hair was super soft. But the only thing was, it stinks. It stinks. It stink. It stink. It stank. So that's why I don't understand how people get on here and install these wigs fresh out the box, because I don't know for anybody else, but more often than not, they smell, because they've been in warehouses, they've been in another country, they've been wherever, I don't know, they've been in somebody's butt, but they stank. So I actually ended up I'm going to wash this hair in the video, and I ended up washing it twice, and it still smelled after I washed it, like not as strong as it did before, of course, but it still had that lingering smell.
Oh, it stinks.
I forgot to condition it just because I didn't think about it, and I was in a rush. Like, I filmed this Friday after work, and I had so much to do to get ready for this party. It felt like I was getting ready for prom. It was a lot. It was a lot that I did not think about. I didn't think it was going to be this much. And I was so tired. Like, I ended up falling asleep after doing this hair, and I forgot to do everything else I needed to do. I needed to do my nails. I needed to finish making my stole, which I did end up finishing the next day, and it came out really, really great. But I needed to make a stole to go over my dress because it was going to be chilly, and my dress was kind of revealing in the back. Like, the back was basically non-existent, and it was low cut in the front. So yeah, I felt like I needed a stole to cover myself a bit because I like being covered, and plus I'm always cold, so I need something to cover me. But yeah, so this is after I washed the hair, and I did end up moisturizing it with some moisturizer and brushing that through with a brush to make sure it's evenly distributed. So I'm just blow drying it right now, and you can see the length a lot more once it's been washed, because before, when it was like all the ends were like frizzy, it did not look like 20 inches of hair. I felt like I was getting ripped off. But after I washed it, a lot better. Like I said, the hair was really good. It's just, it was not very thick. Yeah, because I have other hair from other companies like Unice and stuff like that, and there's 150% Disney as well, 13x4, and it's like, they're very different. Like, if they have the same dimensions, they should be the same despite the price. But yeah, the wigs I got from those other places are more expensive, so I guess you get what you pay for. I don't know. Why the hell was I shaking a wig like that? Maybe it's because it was still smelly and I was like irritated. But anyway, this is how it looks like after I blow dried it. It has that wet and wavy kind of look. But yeah, even brushing through it, it didn't shed very much, just like a few strands here and there, so it was pretty cool. And in this video, I'm just kind of trying it on and stuff. I'm not going to install it in this video because, yeah. Oh, I'm showing you my blow dryer. One of my blow dryers actually broke as I went to plug it in. Thankfully, I had two other ones. But I was like, what the hell? That was the newest one, too. So I had to throw that away because what the hell? I really should buy another one. I just don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a blow dryer. I just can't see me doing that. That's just not something I would do. So anyway, I'm here. I don't usually do this. I usually just use scissors and cut the lace off, but I wanted to try what everybody else is doing, which was like using the razor to cut the lace. But I was so terrified I was gonna cut my forehead. But I did end up doing that and cutting the lace off with that razor. I don't think I'm gonna do that again though. But here I have two hot curlers that I have rarely used. I've had them for 5+ years. So I decided to use them today instead of rollers because I figured it would be quicker than rollers, and also I just really want to use these hot curlers because it's rare that I use them. And this is the New Me hot curler that I've had for a while. I remember ordering it too. I don't remember where. I think I ordered it straight from their site. It was like some sort of sale. But it's actually a decent hot curler. Like, for real. It heats up like that. And I just tinted the lace, of course, with some makeup, some foundation, like my usual foundation. I can't say the one thing I really dislike about this wig is the lace. It is very... It's supposed to be a glueless wig. But it's... I don't know how to describe it. Like, the holes in the lace are very big. That's the best way to, like, no matter how much makeup I put on, like, the holes are very big. And in the camera it looks good, but in person to me is very noticeable, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that. So yeah, I just ended up trying to like cake on the foundation as much as possible so that the holes weren't as visible. But yeah, the holes were really bothering me. I was caking on so much foundation, so much powder to try to make it less visible. Like, even the roots were fine after I put makeup on, but it was just the holes in the lace itself that was bothering me so much. Like, the hair was good, all that, whatever. I can work with the small parting space because, like, that, like, you see that part in the front? That is as far back as it would go on the side, because then it would hit track, and the track would show, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like, I have other 13x4s, and I usually get a little bit more parting space than that on the side. And I always part on the side because I don't like middle parts. I don't know. I feel like they don't suit my face, but whatever. I think I'm going to try a middle part with this just because I like the hair and I want this to work. But that night I did just go ahead with the side part because that's what I wanted. I already had that in my mind. Because I was trying to go for like a 1920s, like old school curled hair sort of vibe. So it didn't come out exactly how I pictured my old school hair going. Because I'm not like an expert when it comes to doing hair or anything. I just kind of know what I want. Like I don't know. I think I'm average when it comes to doing hair. So I kind of wanted like the old school, like big curled 1920s sort of vibe. But I think I ended up putting too many curls in it. And it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted. It was cute. I really liked it. It was really cute. But it wasn't, the 1920s vibe I was going for. But it was cute. So here I ended up plucking some more in the front because it needed it. It needed to be plucked a little bit more. And the baby hairs it came with were super long. So I ended up cutting those more as well. I'm not a huge fan of baby hair. I don't really care for it. I feel like it messes up my makeup too on my forehead, having to gel that down and spray it down and stuff. So I don't really like it. But it was necessary for this wig because the lace was so problematic. So I did end up going in and plucking the side part some more so it could be more defined. And I'm going in and just gonna start curling this hair. And I'm curling it the night before because I was not gonna have time in the morning. And I'm using the Garnier Fructis what is it? Flat Iron Shine spray. It's supposed to be for flat iron hair, but I figured it'll work for curling hair as well, because why not? I've had this spray for a while because it's pretty rare I put heat on my hair or on my wigs or anything. I don't really do that. I think I am going to start doing it more often now after using this and really liking it. And this little glove came with the curling iron as well. So I did this at 370, and for each curl I left it on there for like 20 seconds, and then I took it off, held it for a few seconds, and then I would add a clip in to keep it in place. But that's how the curl looks. It was my first one, so I want to see how it looked. But anyway, after that I decided to clip it in place so that it would still hold for tomorrow. If I known that it would hold so well, I wouldn't have clipped them. Like I would just let them run free and like just brush them out. But it held a lot better than I thought it would. So yeah, I am basically like doing my own like whole like prom get ready by myself for this work thing. And this work thing, it is actually the company's 100-year anniversary and also their holiday party. So it was like a big thing. But most people weren't coming because it was mandatory that you had to be vaccinated, obviously, because you're in a hotel and there's hundreds of people. So I think it was somewhere around like 300 people, and a lot more were invited because a lot more are in the company, of course. It's a pretty big company. But they didn't come because, mandatory vaccination, and a lot of people are against it and blah, 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 whatever. But it was still cool. It was probably better because there weren't so many people. Because, there were already lines for some stuff, and the lines would have been longer if more people had been there. Like they had, and you're going to see it in the other clips coming up because I took some video of it being there. I tried not to get too many people's faces because I know a lot of people probably didn't want to be in the video. Like, even though I hope nobody knows I have this channel at my job because people are weird. And yeah, but anyway, so they had like casino tables, like fake gambling tables and stuff set up. So there were lines for those, and then they had like multiple open bars. There were lines for those. They had ice cream. They had a photographer taking pictures. That's the pictures that you saw in the beginning with me and Chris, like the little 3 pictures like we're at a photo booth, that was from the photographer. So they had that guy. They also had a photographer walking around taking pictures. They also had a buffet. Yeah, a buffet where you were being served. So there was a line for that, and they were calling by table numbers. So yeah, there were lines for things, and you know, if there were more people there, then it would have taken way longer than it should have. And I probably would have gotten frustrated and just left sooner than I did. But it was cool. So anyway, this is the next day. This is the wig on now. And I am actually going to go ahead and apply and install this wig. I'm putting some gel. This is the Gorilla Snot gel. I was about to say Gorilla Glue. The Gorilla Snot gel. Always use this when I want my wig to stay in place. And that was the other thing too. Like usually I put bobby pins in my wigs to keep them in place instead of using the clips, because I don't like using the clips. Because when you, I don't know, it doesn't lay as flat for me when I use the clips. Like I prefer bobby pins. But anyway, I couldn't put bobby pins in it really because of the way the wig cap was. It was just like solid underneath. So I couldn't really put bobby pins in it, but whatever. The wig stayed in place without me even doing that, even though it didn't have a band inside of it or anything. But yeah. Anyway, also, my bad about the lighting. Like I said, I was running behind and I had a lot to do, so I didn't even have time to set up a light. I just did this really quick because we had to go. I was like, I was so much later than I anticipated. I was trying to get to the hotel at like, check-in was at like 4 at the hotel. And we didn't end up getting there till like 5. But I was trying to get there earlier because that was my plan, but that didn't happen. Oh well. But when it did go ahead and I did finish my stole and I applied my makeup and finished my hair and everything at home, so I didn't have much to do when we got to the hotel. And pretty much once we got to the hotel, that's when like everybody messaged me. It was like, hey, we're downstairs. My coworkers and stuff were like, hey, we're downstairs, come meet us. So we made good timing getting dressed and stuff at the hotel. That was the other thing, we didn't get dressed down. We got dressed at the hotel, so we didn't get like wrinkle our stuff. But yeah. And I also went in and I used some Got to Be Glued hairspray to also lay down the wig. And I'm trying doing some baby hairs. And that is us at the hotel. We look amazing. He looks amazing. We had so many problems. Like I almost forgot. Well, I did forget my shoes actually. My shoes for my dress. I did forget those, and we had to turn around and go back and get my shoes. And I live a good ways away from the hotel. I don't live close by any means. So it's always a travel. And this is inside the hotel, inside the area where the party was. I forget what they call it, but yeah, that's the area where it was. These are all the people. A lot of people wearing flapper dresses and sequins and stuff. Those are the gambling tables, some of the areas to take photos. It was super cute. That's a poker table. None of this was real money, by the way. It was all fake money. They gave us fake money when we got there. Like, hey, you want to gamble? Like, yeah, sure, why not? But yeah, it was super cute. Everybody looked great. This is inside the banquet hall where we got our food and our table and where they gave their speeches. So yeah, and like actually the dad of the company, he retired and his son took over. He's been there for like a year or two now. So they gave their speeches and the dad is officially retired now. So yeah, it was a lot going on. And it was nice. They did a great job. They actually had a live band. I think it was like a 17-piece band, something like that. But anyway, this is us out on the river. Out on the balcony on the river and stuff. That's another hotel. And people are sitting by the fire, just chatting. They actually give us cigars and stuff. So this is like the smoking area, for the cigars. And we were out there drinking, talking, thinking about what we were going to do after this. Because this was like just the pregame. We were at the hotel. That was cool, but we already planned on going outside and doing some other stuff anyway. And that's the band. They were really good. We were gonna leave and do our own thing after this anyway, so that's what we did. Oh, that's me. And this is the dress. I'll give you guys a better look of the dress later on. I got a dress from Lulus, and it's actually in a size 2. My sizing is really weird. Like, typically I wear a size 4, but with like women's sizes, I'm a size 2. And that's the stole I made. I made that stole like 2 hours before leaving. 2 hours before the party. So here we are walking around downtown Savannah. There's a big Christmas tree down there. And we were just hanging out. It was just me and Chris. We kind of forgot. We lost everybody else. We asked them a couple of times what you guys want to do. After a while, we lost them. And we just went out and did our own thing after the party. The party ended at midnight. So we were outside somewhere around like after midnight, 1. We didn't stay for the whole party. But we left at like 11 or something, and we were out by ourselves walking around town, checking out the squares. We did end up going to the Grove, got some more drinks and stuff, and we went and got tacos, they were so good. Oh my god, they were so good. I forgot to film them because I was hungry, and they were really good. And also, it was just so many people around after hours downtown, and I don't know. Like, the United States is giving me PTSD, honestly, with all these shootings and stuff. So I was like, I don't know. I just felt uncomfortable being around so many people. So I was happy when we left and we were like by ourselves walking around. So I'm like, all it takes is one person to do something stupid. Like, everybody was just chilling, having fun. There were even little kids out there, and it was like after midnight. It's like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. After midnight, there were little kids out with their families, and I was like, it just takes one person to do something stupid. But that was some Mexican street corn I got from the Mexican shop too. It was so good. It was so good. That's my favorite. And we were just walking around some of the squares, and this is the next morning. We went and got breakfast. Oh, that's actually in our hotel room. Sorry. Yeah, I pay extra to get a room on the river with a view of the river. So yeah. Chris said he saw a dolphin out there. Apparently they've been coming in the river and yeah. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that's the area where we were the night before, down there, the cigar smoking area. That's where we were the night before. Right under our hotel room. But yeah, it was a really fun experience. I'm kind of glad I did it. Honestly, the days leading up to it, I really didn't feel like going. Just because, I don't know, I just didn't feel up to it. I'm not someone who likes to be around a bunch of people I don't know, really. And I was like, oh, everybody at the company is so much older than me. Like, a lot of the people that I know aren't going. So I didn't think I would have that much fun. But then in the end, I decided to go anyway, because I figured I usually regret it if I don't do something, or if I don't go. I don't usually regret it if I do go, if that makes sense. So I'm glad I just sucked it up and did it, and I pretty much did everything I needed to do. My hair, my makeup, I kind of did my nails. I messed up my nails, but whatever. We were in a rush, and it was dark in there anyways. Nobody noticed. But it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I experienced it, and I'm glad I went. And I would totally do it again. And this is the next day. Well, that same day. Later on, after Chris and I had breakfast, we walked around downtown again, and it looks so much different in the light. But yeah, these are some of the same squares we walked around the night before. We were just hanging out, just chilling, talking. He had to go to work, actually, downtown, same area, so he stayed down there, and I came back home. And this is me trying on the dress so you guys can get a better look of it. Don't mind all the other stuff going on in the room. I have a lot going on in my room. Don't worry about it. But anyway, this is the dress. As you can see, it's beyond floor length, which is how I like my dresses. If it's going to be like an evening dress or something, I want it to be like flowing. But yeah, it flows perfectly. That's the back. As you can see, I told you it was like pretty much out. The back was out, baby. so I needed that stole because I was going to be cold. And like as we were eating dinner the night before at in the banquet hall, I was cold because I had to take the stole off. I was so chilly, and Chris looked at me, he was like, "Are you cold?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm cold." But yeah, it was worth it. Hey, it was worth it for fashion. But this is it. I love this dress, and now I have to find another reason to wear it because it was amazing. I'm so glad I got it, and it really wasn't that expensive. It's actually sold out now, but I will provide a link and stuff for, not a link, but I'll provide the name and stuff for it. I think they still have it in pink, but yeah, I try to keep it simple with the black dress because baby, I cannot wear a flapper dress. I do not have the body for it. But yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you think of everything, and I'll see you next time. Bye.